the First Great Schism. For its contemporaries, it was a conflict with no name. But for historians, due to similar rifts repeating themselves throughout the history of the Jedi, it would be referred to as the First Great Schism. It was a period of time that marked one of the very first fragmentations of the Jedi Order, when a faction within their high ranks began to study forbidden and darker usages of the Force. A young female human member of the Order, named Arden Lin, who was a Taraskasi master, felt that the Jedi had become too dogmatic in their Force practices and too close-minded to allow for any growth. She was not the only one who felt this way. A malcontent fellow member named Zendor had become very critical of what he regarded as the Order's ever-increasing segregated ways to leave to form his own academy in direct defiance of the Order. Soon, more and more disgruntled groups from the Order would join them to investigate the forbidden mysteries of the Force that Zendor was teaching. Eventually, Zendor's followers would be called the Legions of Leto. Every new acolyte to join his academy would pledge their allegiance to Zendor and swear to protect their new order and defend their right to pursue any knowledge of the Force without the restraints of the Jedi Order. Though the Legions of Leto just wished to be left alone to their studies, the Order branded Zendor and his disciples dissenters, and thus both sides saw that the war would become unavoidable. So who began the war? That information is unfortunately lost to history, but war came nevertheless. Wanting to put an end to it, before the war spread into the Republic, Zendor led an assault on Ossus itself, but the attack failed, and the war persisted. Zendor would engage a male human Jedi Master named Adrista Pina, who both he and Lin admired as an independent thinker in his own right. Zendor and he fought it out until it finally ended in Zendor's death. It was decided that the entire legions of Leto needed to be exterminated, and so the Jedi, under the command of Greenblade, were sent to their homeworld and fought a fierce battle, which lasted long enough for Lin and other surviving members of the Legions to escape outside Republic space into the unknown regions. Greenblade would pursue Lin across the galaxy until he finally cornered her down on a planet named Irkala. The two would engage in a duel, which would result in Lin being disarmed, but refusing to surrender, Lin channeled the dark side into a Force artifact that she possessed, known as the Kashi Mare Talisman. Using her rage, love, and despair of her dead lover Zendor, and augmented by the talisman, Lin's power destroyed Greenblade's sword and mortally wounded the Jedi. But with his last ounce of strength, Lin was placed into a deep stasis. After the end of the war, the Jedi Order withdrew back to Ossus, away from the concerns of the core worlds of the Republic. Jedi were in fact in secret defending the worlds of the Rim